Yep.
Good afternoon. John Rubery, Marathon Pundit here with Joel Pollak, who is running for the 9th Congressional District in Illinois. He's a Republican, and I want him to be my next congressman. A few questions for you, Joel. Thanks for agreeing to do this. What is the roadmap for a Joel Pollak victory in November?
Well, John, the most important thing that we can do to ensure victory in November is to out-organize our opponent. That basically means a very strong volunteer effort, door-to-door, phone calls, plus advertising and doing the things that campaigns need to do. We have to outwork our opponent in order to win. And that's basically it. That's the roadmap.
It's like training for a marathon. It's got to be out there running when the other side isn't.
Yeah, there's no part of our district that we're not going to be in. We are everywhere. I've visited almost every single train station in the district so far, and going door to door every day now. And we just need to get out there and get more people. And I'm really excited about the response we've had so far. So many people have come out and help us that I think we're well on our way.
Great. Got a couple of issue questions, since that was my next question about the geography of the district. And for those who aren't familiar with the 9th Congressional District, it's north side of Chicago, kind of veers to the right, maybe politically, we don't know, but kind of like a hockey stick into the northwest suburbs. For those with a little bit of history in mind, it covers a bit of Henry Hyde's old district, a longtime House Judiciary Committee chairman. About issues, the Employee Free Choice Act and its card check provision. What's your opinion on that?
Well, the card check is just going to kill jobs in our district. A lot of the small business owners have come to me and said that's the single biggest issue for them right now is defeating card check and protecting the rights of workers to a secret ballot in union elections. And I've spoken to union members, active and retired, and many of them know this will actually have a negative effect on employment, but they see it as something that their union needs to do to pick up a little strength at the bargaining table. I think that we need to recognize the rights of workers to unionize, but at the same time, the rights of workers not to join a union. And we need to do that to make sure there are jobs in our district, to keep our economy going and make sure that we can build a better life here.
Okay. Speaking of jobs, a few years ago, 1992, Bill Clinton ran for president. He won, and his unofficial message was, "It's the economy, stupid." I mean, to me, I'm thinking, is it jobs? No disrespect. Is it jobs in 2010?
It definitely is, but it's more than that as well, because my opponent also understands that the focus has to be jobs, but she has very different solutions to the ones I'm proposing. Her solution is to keep spending. She is the #1 biggest spender in the House of Representatives, according to the National Taxpayer Union. And she wants to keep spending. Now, she says spending is a solution to a recession, but she has also spent in the good times. In fact, her biggest proposed spending years were when our economy was growing quite rapidly. So her solution is to keep spending, keep growing the size of government, keep regulating. That actually destroys jobs in our district, as we've seen. Since she's been in office over the last 12 years, the Chicago area and our district has lost jobs, while the rest of the country has gained slightly. My solution is to use investment tax credits, lower business taxes, jobs budget, and turning our area, which we see right here is going through some hard times, into an innovation corridor for the country, become the leader in high-tech development in alternative energy and in biotech. That's what will create jobs in our district.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but Jan Schakowsky, your opponent, she's on the deficit commission?
Yes, she is.
She wants to spend.
Yes, well, she had said in her opening statement to the Deficit Commission that balancing the budget is not an important goal, that the debt is not something we need to worry about. She does not see it as something we need to be concerned about. And when spending cuts come up, she says no. And people say, well, we've got to get spending under control, otherwise we're going to have this enormous deficit and debt. She says, well, I want to cut what she calls tax entitlements. What are tax entitlements? That's the money you get for saving in your 401k and putting money away in your IRA account. That's actually your money, but she calls it an entitlement because the government's giving it to you. And that's really the difference of focus in this election between the two candidates here.
The 401k is going to keep me from sleeping in this parking lot when I'm 65. I don't want that. Cap and trade. What do you think about that?
I'm against cap and trade. I think it is bad for our economy and bad for the environment. If we care about global pollution, creating a law that is going to force American industry to relocate to high pollution countries overseas is only going to increase global pollution. So it's bad for our economy, it's going to keep destroying jobs here, and it's going to be bad for the global environment.
The $862 billion stimulus which some people are calling a success, some are calling it a failure. What does Joe Pollak think?
Well, I think what the residents of this district think, and if you talk to people here, they'll tell you the stimulus was a failure. You know, we saw promises made by my opponent, Jan Schakowsky, that the stimulus would create 148,000 jobs in Illinois. We have lost that number of jobs since the stimulus was passed. And people want to see what the stimulus is doing. They look at Sheridan Road, which is a very nice road, beautiful homes.
Yeah.
It happens to be one of the wealthiest parts of the district. Why are they spending stimulus money there instead of in areas like this where you can see buildings being torn down, empty storefronts, unemployment? Where's the stimulus? What kind of jobs is it creating? People understand that fundamentally, the government can't create permanent jobs. The private sector has to do job creation, has to grow, but it can't do that with high taxes, with heavy regulations coming in. And it needs a little bit of a push, which is one of the reasons I'm proposing the investment tax credit. We need to do things that create jobs. We need to put jobs first. And the stimulus, by pushing our debt and our deficits to record levels, has actually undermined confidence in our economy and has cost us money.
Okay, I'm going to get a little presumptuous on this one, but
All right.
I'm going to ask. Most of the work in the House and the Senate too is done in committees. Do any committees interest you now?
I'd like to be on the ethics committee. I think we need serious ethical reform in Congress. You know, with the ethical charges against Charlie Rangel and Maxine Waters, we really need to see a difference. We need to create checks and balances inside the House of Representatives to make sure that it doesn't take forever to bring these people to justice. And I've discovered that there are very few members of Congress who will even refer a complaint to the ethics committee. We need to stop that. One member really can make a difference, and I want to get in there and change that. My opponent continued to back Charlie Rangel even after he had been forced to step down from the House Ways and Means Committee. And that's why we need new representation. We don't need one more vote for Charlie Rangel coming out of Skokie, Illinois. We need someone who's going to fight corruption in Washington.
Right, and we are here in Skokie, Illinois at the Skokie Swift, also known as the Yellow Line train station, the CTA station, so those who aren't familiar with the area. Okay, you have a very good reputation, Harvard degree and the like, yet you want to run for Congress. Now, Congress, the last time I checked, tomorrow it might be different, approval of Congress is at 11%. So, why do you want to muddy your reputation by running for Congress?
Well, I'd like to get that 11% out of the gutter. I'd like to turn Congress around, and it really is about making a difference and making the kinds of changes that are simple and that are possible if we have the right people in there to restore public trust in Congress. Ethics reform is part of that. Cutting spending to reasonable levels, getting our deficit under control is part of that. And then getting government out of things that government doesn't do well, like running the automobile industry, running the insurance industry, picking winners and losers all over the world. I now hear that $22 million is going to train workers overseas in Asia. We're against outsourcing, but somehow we're sending American taxpayer dollars to train workers overseas. We've got to get the spending under control. We've got to get our priorities right, creating jobs, reindustrializing the United States, being a leader in high technology fields. I think those are all things we can achieve in Congress, and that's what I want to go there and do. And I think we will pick up Congress's approval rating when we have a functioning system of dedicated representatives.
I hope so, because they're working for us, and as I said, there's foreclosed homes in my neighborhood, and this is a good area.
Yeah.
It's not quite Sheridan Road, but that's all I have today, this afternoon. So, Joel, thank you very much.
Thank you. Nice to see you.
Likewise, thank you very much.
Let's do it again soon.
Sounds good. If you just get that off there, and then, cool. All right.